Now, Srimati Jebi Mathar Hisham.
Thank you, sir. I thank Congress Party, Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge ji, CPP Chairperson Sonia Gandhi ji, Rahul Gandhi ji, and CPP leadership for giving me this opportunity to make my maiden speech here in this august house, especially on the important topic of the state of economy of our nation. Today, we are at the very end of the second term of BJP government. Sir, we have had nearly 10 years of BJP and Modi ji's rule. And our Honorable Prime Minister loves to compare Congress Party's 60 years of governance with his 10 years. Sir, in 60 years of Congress rule, led by Nehru ji to Manmohan Singh ji, our nation grew from the depth of a resource-starved economy which the British left us with at the time of independence to, in 2014, to become one of the 10th largest economies of the world and having built the foundation and springboard to grow further. With this strong foundation laid by Congress Party, our nation's economy has grown naturally since independence and after 2014 also. However, the phase of growth which is claimed by BJP government is also under clouds of suspicion as several indicators such as poverty, unemployment, health on the ground points to the contrary. More importantly, sir, at what cost has this growth claimed by BJP government been since BJP came to power? This is an important question for us to decipher the cost of this growth claimed by BJP government that our nation has had to pay since BJP government came to power. Sir, let me put forth few important points in this regard. First, our nation's debt, which stood at rupees 58.60 lakh crore, that is 52.20% of GDP, as on 31st March 2014, today is rupees 155.60 lakh crore, that is 57.10% of GDP, which means the debt on every Indian has increased by 2.53 times in the last 9+ years. The astronomical increase in the government's debt due to the Modinomics means that each Indian today has a debt. India's per capita debt is today rupees 1,09,373 compared to rupees 43,124 in 2014. I very respectfully ask our Prime Minister, what is your answer to adding 66,249 debt in 10 years of your government versus 43,124 in 60 years of Congress governments onto the shoulders of every Indian in your 10 years of heading the government? Second, our nation had an unemployment rate of 4.90% in the financial year 2013-14 when Congress Party was in power. The unemployment rate this financial year is hovering around 7.90% plus. I very respectfully ask our Prime Minister, what is your answer to the unemployment rate in our nation, almost doubling in your 10-year term of heading the government? Third, India's ranking in Global Hunger Index was 55 in 2014. Today, India's ranking in the Global Hunger Index is 111 out of the 125 countries with sufficient data to calculate Global Hunger Index scores. I respectfully, very respectfully ask our Prime Minister, what is your answer to the ranking of the Global Hunger Index of our nation, falling from 55 to 111 in your 10 years term of heading the government? Fourth, India's ranking in the World Economic Forum Annual Gender Gap Report was 114 in 2014. Today, India's ranking in the World Economic Forum Annual Gender Gap Report is 127. I respectfully, very respectfully ask our Prime Minister, what is your answer to the ranking of the World Economic Forum Annual Gender Gap Report of our nation, falling from 114 to 117 in your 10 years term of heading the government? Fifth, as per the World Inequality Report 2022, the average household wealth in India today is around 9,83,010. The bottom 50% of the nation can be seen to own almost nothing, with an average wealth of rupees 66,280 per household, or 6% of the total wealth of the nation. The middle class is relatively poor, with an average wealth of 7,23,930 per household, or 29.50% of the total wealth of the nation. The top 10% household owns 65% of the nation wealth, averaging to 63,54,070 per household. And the top 1% household owns 33% of the nation's wealth, averaging rupees 3,24,49,360. I respectfully ask, very respectfully ask our Prime Minister, what is your answer to the status of our nation as one of the most unequal countries in the world, with rising poverty and an affluent elite in your 10 years term of heading the government? Six, reducing fuel prices was very dear to our Prime Minister during the 2014 election campaign. Obviously, fuel prices hit at the root of an economy, and more so Indian economy. However, from 2014 to 2023, petrol price increased from rupees 72.26 per litre to 100 plus per litre, and diesel price from rupees 55.49 per litre to rupees 90 plus per litre between 2040 and 2023. Similar is the case with kerosene and LPG too. This, despite petroleum crude prices being exorbitantly high during 2014 versus the subsidized petroleum crude which we are getting from Russia since the Ukraine war. I respectfully, very respectfully ask our Prime Minister, what is your answer to the huge increase in the prices of petrol, diesel, kerosene and LPG in your 10 years term of heading the government? Most importantly, sir, this is the most important. Indian rupees exchange rate with US dollar on 31st March 2014 was rupees 59.90. Rupees exchange rate is by self-admission a matter very close to our Prime Minister's heart. Yesterday, Indian rupees exchange rate with US dollar fell to rupees 83.41, the lowest ever in the history of our country, the lowest ever in the history of our country. I respectfully ask our Prime Minister, what is your answer to the Indian rupee depreciating to its lowest ever rate in your 10-year term of heading the government? 8, in 60 years, Congress government built world-class infrastructure from effectively nothing in 1947. Today, the government, under the national monetization pipeline, is selling these national assets valued at an estimated rupees 6 lakh crore in public sector, one by one, to private sector, enriching the favorite friends of BJP. I respectfully, very respectfully ask the Prime Minister, what is your answer to your government handing over national assets to your favorite friends in your 10 years term of heading the government? I quote our first Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru ji, who our present government attacks for all issues they cannot find solutions for and for mistakes they cannot defend. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru ji said, facts are facts and will not disappear on account of your likes. I can go on and on and on about various factors and statistics connected to the dismal state of economy, from inflation to price rise to Manrega state to Skill India to Beti Bachao to Beti Padhao and so on and so forth. Of course, then my senior colleagues from the treasury benches will ask few pointed questions. First question they would ask would be, isn't the economy growing? And we have our answer is, serious questions remain on the realness of the growth claimed by BJP government, as the economy is exhibiting several contra-indicators to the claims of the BJP government. Another question which they would ask would be, isn't FDI coming to India? And what we wish to say is that it is only natural that FDI come to India based on the open door liberalized regime initiated by the Congress government, and the reality that MNCs cannot ignore a market as large as India, which the stage was set by the Congress party. Yet another question, the chest-thumping question post the recent election is, did we not win the recent state election? My treasury, from the senior colleagues from the treasury benches, almost all said that. And we wish to say you did win, but very few media has reported that more Indian citizens, Hamare Deshwasi, voted for Congress party than BJP. About 11 lakhs more Indians voted for Congress party, where BJP polled 4.81 crore votes, Congress party polled 4.92 crore votes. So, we, the Congress party, has been in the heart of India for 138 years, and we, the Congress party, is in the heart of India now despite you wishing us away, and we, the Congress party, will remain in the heart of India despite you wishing for Congress Mukt Bharat. We will continue to oppose your wrongdoings, and we will continue to expose your jumlas. Our India is great. We will work to make her even greater and the greatest in the world. Jai Hind.
Thank you. Now, Sri Jawahar Sarkar, your time is